Hello everybody. This is the first time I've done live on YouTube. Let me just check that everything is actually working. I have my laptop just to check that everything is it's actually live. I am actually live currently on YouTube. So, welcome. If you're catching the replay, my name is Hannah. I am a Stampin' Up demonstrator based in the UK. I am just going to let my Facebook followers know that I'm currently live. Can't type when I'm in a hurry. Hopefully that will work. So, welcome. I used to do Facebook Live videos every week, and then I had 2 children and got a little bit out of the habit, and I've decided to come back and do some more, but on YouTube instead, just as a bit of a change, really. I thought I'd try something different. So, I have 2 cards to make with you this week, using the, is that probably backwards, probably, Waves of Inspiration stamp set, dies, the papers, all of that. And I think that's all I need to say. With my face facing you, I look a mess. I've had one hell of a day. Wednesdays are my me and the kids day, so I don't go to my day job. And I got my daughter ready to go to baby class this morning, and discovered she had chicken pox. So my brain is sort of fried, so if I talk a load of rubbish, I do apologise. But let me try and tilt you down onto my grid paper, and we shall see how this goes. So I hope you don't feel too sick. I'm going to do... I've got a... right, yeah, right, turn you around. Oh no, you're going to be the wrong way up, aren't you? Ooh. Let's start again. Right. End this live, start a new one. No, I don't want to do that either. Oh, a nightmare. I do this, you see my messy craft room, and then, ooh, she says, turn you around. Ha. Now, I'm probably, yeah, I think I'm gonna be upside down. Sorry, anybody watching. Just see. I'll try it. Yes, I'm upside down. Oh, that's really annoying, isn't it? That's really annoying. Hold on. It's going to make you feel more sick, but... Whoop. Right. Oh. Right, here we go. Start again. Hello, welcome. I am Hannah from Stampin' by Hannah here on YouTube and Facebook, and Instagram's usually a pretty good place to get hold of me. Still trying to jiggle about with this. I think next week I won't do the bit with my face. I think that's a reasonable suggestion, isn't it? Right, I have my Diet Coke because that's very important. And we have the Waves of Inspiration suite. So, Waves of Inspiration is a fabulous stamp set and die bundle, and these, I know, are still available in all markets. So if you are in the UK, everything that I show you is available. If you're elsewhere in the world, I do apologise, it's only this bit that's still available. But I'm selling in the UK, which means that you can get all of this through my online store. The link is already in the down bar below. So you've got this fabulous stamp set and the dies. These fantastic, beautiful blue and like green rhinestones. I absolutely love this. I'm going to be really sad when these go. All of the rhinestones and the papers retire on the 2nd of May, I do believe, but I love those. Then we've got this foil, which you can then see my face in. So we've got, it's actually 12 by 12. You get 12 by 12 sheets, and you get 2 of each colour. But I've cut them down just so it's easier for you guys to see. So you've got a blue one, a shiny blue one, a matte silver, which I absolutely love, and then a shiny kind of paler blue colour. And then you've got this designer series paper. I'm going to move that foil out of the way because it's actually knocking me out. I can't see. So you've got this paper, and this paper is just stunning. You get 12 sheets, and when I tried to work out which the 12 sheets were out of my pile of 6x6 pieces, I couldn't do it. So there are more than 12 sheets that are in your vision at the moment, because I couldn't work out where the 12 stopped, because every bit is different, but they are just absolutely stunning. I love this piece, absolutely love it. So that is the Waves of the Ocean, the paper, and the stamp set is Waves of Inspiration. Sometimes Stampin' Up do that thing where they name things to things similar and I get very confused. So you could also, there is an item number where you get all of this for one item code, and I will, when I finish the live, all the details will go over up on my blog, which is here. You can also, there's a link to my online store here as well as in the down bar below. And yeah, you can get it all under one item number, which is just fantastic. Like I said, if you are outside of the UK, the foil, the paper, and the rhinestones, I think, are definitely in the US. I'm not sure about South Pacific. All of it's already gone. So if you live in the UK and you like these things sell out. So, shall we make... Actually, do you want to make a card first, or shall I show you some inspiration bits first? Let's do some inspiration first. So I have been playing with this quite a lot. You will have already seen, if you are a subscriber on my channel. If you're not, do hit that subscribe button. This card is already up on my channel. I love it. I just love this. This is one of those stamp sets that I looked at when it came through on the demonstrator site and went, oh, I'm not sure. And then I got it home and I haven't been able to put it down. This shows the dies off, because I've not really used the dies much on the cards that I'm going to share with you today. But the die set is fabulous. We've got this fabulous or two of these fabulous wave dies, but it's the clouds that I really like, and the fact that you've got a cloud piece. So you can have a completely flat cloud, which I might have on a card somewhere. But then also there's these detailed dies that just make those clouds pop, and I love that effect. So here we've got a piece of designer series paper, the foil. If you are going to use the foil with the waves, I would highly recommend adding the adhesive sheets to your order, just because you can then stick the adhesive sheet onto the back of the paper and basically make giant stickers, and it's so much easier. I will show you how to do that. It's not going to be today, but I will show you how to do that at some point. The adhesive sheets, I absolutely love those. This card, really like simple stamping, so you can make it really complicated or you can keep it really simple. I love this card. This card actually then went on to inspire a card for my card club for last month, which will be coming. If you've ordered Card Club in March, it will be hitting the post office at the weekend, because I couldn't go today because I couldn't leave the house with my chickenpox covered child. So that one, I just love that, like, really nice kind of ripped effect on that designer series paper. Really pretty. Again, these clouds, just can't get enough of the clouds. Here we go. Here are the clouds just flat without that kind of detailed bit on. This is a case of one of the cards that Stampin' Up made, and I changed the colour. Just love this suite. And then I also did one where I have heat embossed the wave in white and then used my Stampin' blending brush to kind of create a background behind it. Really, really simple, but really effective. And then the last thing I made was this with one of the mini paper pumpkin boxes. These are about to retire, and I don't know if they're actually still available or not, but they're so fun. Food safe on the inside, shiny insides. But yeah, just a really cute way to just jazz up something. Just so sweet. And actually, that I was trying to go for something not really nautical, because it's got a big wave on it, it feels quite, yeah, nautical. But actually, that doesn't feel as nautical, because it's yellow. Anyway, so I have 2 more cards to make with you tonight, both using the Waves of Inspiration, because I just can't get enough. The first one, we're going to do a bit of a floating panel technique. Now, I've seen this a lot on probably Instagram recently, where they use, have I not scored that one? Where they use acetate or window sheet, and so you stick all the pieces of design paper onto window sheet and then stick that onto your card, and I'm sure that's fabulous, but window sheet and me don't get on at all. So I'm going to do it the kind of old-fashioned way of using dimensionals on the back of the design paper, because that still does work. So I thought that was an important point to make. So I have a card base of Night of Navy. If you've not seen one of my cards before, all I do to make my card base is I take a piece of A4, because A4 is the size that I work in, because I'm in the UK, and I cut it in half and I fold it in half. Simple as that. That card base then is 10.5 centimetres by 15.85, just because A4 is a weird size. But I then cut my first mat on my layer to 10 centimetres by 14.8. No. Yeah, half a centimetre, but I don't put the 0.25 on. That's just silly. So that is the basis of this card. So I'm going to take my seal, and then I've also got somewhere a pack of Stampin' Dimensionals. Another thing, cannot live without. I have hundreds of packets of these because they're just so good. I'm going to open a brand new packet for you. So in a pack of Dimensionals, you get 3 sheets, which I think is about 300 of them. And I go through them like it's nobody's business, because I just love them. Every card I make has some Dimensionals on it. If it doesn't, it's not a card. So, bit of seal on the back of my piece of basic white cardstock. There are so many colours in this Design Issues paper as well. I should have got them all out and listed them for you, but like I said, busy old day. I've coordinated myself though. I've got my navy hoodie on with my Night of Navy cardstock. But there are some there's some not blue colours in here. So there is Calypso Coral, and I think it's Daffodil Delight. Let me have a look. Let me pull it up and see what it says. Still got the web page up from checking it earlier. See how many pieces of Design Issues paper were in that pack. So there's Calypso Coral, Coastal Cabana, Daffodil Delight, Granny Apple Green, Night of Navy, Pacific Point, and Petal Pink. And they're colours that work really, really well together, aren't they? They are stunning. But you just go, not colours I would necessarily put together. For all they are very, very pretty. So I'm going to, brand new sheet of dimensional, so I'm going to just run it through my fingers to kind of break all the dimensional pieces up a little bit. Otherwise they do tend to stick together. So 2 dimensionals on each piece. Now then, this one I'm going to have to cut in half. We do carry mini sized dimensionals, but my adhesives box at the moment is a bit of a mess, and even though I tidied the rest of my craft room. If you saw my vlog over the weekend, I tidied the rest of my craft room. I didn't tidy my adhesives box, so my adhesives box is still an absolute mess. So I'm sure there are some mini dimensionals in there. Just don't know where. So I'm going back to the old-fashioned method of cutting them in half. Sometimes you just have to do what you have to do, don't you? So, there. I don't know if anybody else has this problem, I've had gel nails put on recently. I've never had gel nails for a long time. I think I last had gel nails on when I got married, and I was like, I just want to treat myself to some nice nails for once. I thought they've been on over a week, so they are starting to look a little bit messy. But I now can't pick anything up. I've got to slide it off the desk before I can pick it up. So, now we've got our dimensionals on the back. I can't get the dimensionals backings off either. Oh, dear me. Right. To take a pick tool comes in very useful. As does my little goo pot. I don't know if I've ever shown this on video before. I can't really remember. I keep a little goo pot on the side of my desk because it's somewhere to put the dimensional backings. Because otherwise they float off around the house. Does anybody else have this problem? Where you find yourself in the downstairs loo and there's a dimensional backing. You're like, how on earth did that get there? So this is now sticky. So I'm going to pop that, line it up with the top and the sides, she says. And this is why it is easier. It could be easier if you can work out window sheet and liquid adhesive to do this on window sheet. So you'd literally cut your window sheet to the right size, cut your design paper to the same width, and then use liquid glue to stick them on. Me and liquid glue don't go together at the best of times. So I'm sticking with this old-fashioned method that may look a little bit wonky at the end, but you know what? It's a handmade card. And if it's not a little bit wonky, it's not really handmade, is it? I'm not mass producing here. I am just, I'm making one-offs. All of these strips of design paper are cut to 8 centimetres long. And then I varied the depths or the widths of them. So they are, this one's 8 centimetres by 2, that's 8 centimetres by 1, and I think that's probably 1.5. And I've just varied it across the can't get the backs off this dimensional. Just to kind of, otherwise everything looks a little bit uniform, and I'm not into that. Not into that at all. So I thought I had 7 pieces, but apparently I don't. I only have 6. So, and I have gone slightly wonky, but that's absolutely fine. This is not playing for me at all. These dimensionals, goodness me. There we go. So that is all of those pieces of design paper stuck on there. How cute is that? Super easy. The cutting takes longer than anything else. Now, I am going to add a little bit of stamping onto this card and a little bit of die cutting as well for my sins. So I'm going to take this lovely little pelican. I'll mount him up on my block. And I'd forgotten about this pelican when I'd prepped everything. And I've got all of those lovely blue ink pads and Daffodil Delight, and not got a colour for my pelican. So, quickly, we have my crumb cake. And my soft, so I've got crumb cake ink and soft suede marker. So, all I want to do is ink up Mr. Pelican in crumb cake. Close the lid before I put my elbow in it. And then I'm going to just take my soft suede and I'm just going to pick up some of the kind of wood, make the wood a little bit darker. Just that change of tone a little bit. And breathe on it to make sure it's not gone too dry. I'm stamping this down on a scrap, and I like the fact that's a little bit scrappy looking, I've got to say. So in our set of dies, we have got 2 different waves that do layer on top of each other really, really nicely. A couple of labels, our fabulous clouds and the detailed dies, some birds, which I actually haven't die cut at all, and then our pelican. So I'm going to just take Mr. Pelican, and this is the only bit of die cutting that I'm going to do this evening, because it just, die cutting is, I love die cutting, but I really struggle to do it on camera, partly because I film everything on my phone, and getting the Stampin' Cut and Emboss underneath my phone is just a little bit awkward. So I am going to, I always use a bit of washi tape to stick it on, stick my die on, just because otherwise the die might move, and I don't want that. So my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine is just across my desk. So I'm going to very quickly run that through, rather than try and move it. I do need to get myself a mini one, I think. Just for cute little jobs like this, where you're not doing loads of die cutting, you're just cutting out one little image. The mini cut and emboss is just perfect. So there is my little pelican, and then somewhere in my Waves of Inspiration box, I already have this label that says happy birthday on it, just by sheer coincidence. So I'm going to use that to finish my card. So I'm going to take my pelican and I'm going to put some seal on the back of him and pop him onto my designer Sue's paper. And then I'm going to take another dimensional that I'm going to have to cut in half because, oh no, it might fit. No, it does fit. It does fit. There. Just to pop that there. And that is, I mean, it's super simple, isn't it? It comes together, these cards come together really quickly and they look fabulous. So that is card number 1 of the evening. Now, card number 2 might take a little bit longer because I'm going for a slightly more complicated technique. Because we're going to use this big wave. Now, this wave uses, because it's so big, you need the biggest block that Stampin' Up do, which I think is an H. I don't own that block. I know, bad demonstrator, don't own it. I do have a Paper Mania, I think. Contraband, yeah. But I'm not going to use that either because actually with this stamp, I find it much easier to use my Stamparatus. I love this thing and I don't use it nearly often enough. So I've got a piece of the Stamparatus paper, grid paper, already on here, and I'm just going to pop my stamp on, line it up with, line it up with the lines on my grid paper and pick it up. Now, I have already gone ahead and done some kind of prep for this card. So, this suite doesn't have Bermuda Bay in it, but I was watching earlier on this afternoon a video by Heather Fogan, who is Stamping with Nelly, I think, or Stamp with Nelly, can't remember. It's really bad. She's one of my sister demonstrators, and she's fabulous. She makes fabulous cards, and she'd used Bermuda Bay, and I was like, that works really well. So I've grabbed a Bermuda Bay card base. I've got a piece of basic white and a piece of the designer Sue's paper. I've got a bit of that foil. You can see my phone and me, and my rainbow or my hoodie, for that. And then another piece of basic white that we are going to stamp onto. So, first things first, I'm going to just grab, I've got Coastal Cabana ink, and I need the case from my stamp set just to lift the arm of the Stamparator up a little bit. So I'm going to ink up my stamp, and I'm going to stamp it onto my grid paper, like that. And now I know exactly where I need to put my actual piece of paper, because obviously this piece of paper is smaller than this stamp. There is a little problem with this stamp in that it is, if I grab my standard layer, so this piece of basic white with the standard layer I use on a card, and it's the stamp is too short. How well you can see that. If I put it underneath, you can see it's too short. That's why this piece is a little bit of a strange measurement, but it still fits all the measures that I would normally use. So I'm going to pop this just here so I can sort of see that I've got some of the stamp sticking out underneath. That's what I want. I don't want it all kind of completely covered. And I'm going to stamp again using that ink that's now probably dried a little bit and is second generation, just to give that effect. Then I have got a bunch of other colours. So I've got Night of Navy, Bermuda Bay, Pacific Point and Daffodil Delight. And I'm going to use, again, my blending brush to add the colour onto the stamp and then onto my image. So I take my Bermuda Bay first and just tap my brush into my ink pad, and I'm just going to add the colour onto the stamp. Don't forget I haven't cleaned this off, so there's still kind of a little bit of that Coastal Cabana as well underneath. Just going to push that across, push that nicely down, and you can see there's just like a little bit of darkness. It's not massive because we're adding the ink kind of indirectly with a blending brush, so it's a really soft way of colouring it in, if you like. So I'll take some Pacific Point. Again, tapping my brush onto my ink pad to pick some ink up, and I'm going to add that colour onto my stamp. Bring it all the way around, and then stamp that. And because we're using the Stamparatus, every time I close the stamp over, it's in exactly the same place. There's no movement at all. Can you see we're just really gradually building that colour? Really, really gradually just building it up. So you're getting like really like multi-tonal colour, like the sea really is. Because the sea isn't one colour, is it? It's not flat, it's very mobile, and then you get lots of different colours in it. So we're going to do the same with some Night of Navy. Again, and I want this kind of dark in this bottom corner. So push that over. There we go. And you'll be able to see it even more clearly once I've picked it up, I think, off the Stamparatus. So close that over. I'm going to clean off my stamp. So I have got, this lives on my desk permanently, some Stampin' Mist and a microfiber cloth. There's a bit of a squirt of that on there, and I'm just going to rub that over. Yes, normally I would use my Stampin' Scrub. However, I want to leave my stamp exactly where it is because I have not finished. So I'm going to take my yellow blending brush and my Daffodil Delight. Now you're all going, what are you doing with yellow in the sea? don't really know, and I don't know if this is going to work, but we're going to try it. So I'm tapping my brush onto my ink pad again, and I'm just going for that kind of middle bit where the wave's kind of crashing over, to add a little bit of yellow onto there. Just thought this would be interesting because there's yellow in the paper. There's not a lot picked up. We'll try it again. There we go. And it's just added, because all of the colours I've added are quite blue, it's kind of become a little bit green. So I'll pull that off there. There we go. Can you see? So you've got that kind of multi-tonal colour in that stamped image. I think that looks fantastic. Blow my own trumpet. So I've put my Stamparatus away before it falls on the floor, which it inevitably will do, because that's what happens during any of my live videos. If you've watched live videos of old, you'll know that normally I drop everything all over the floor. If you craft with me in real life, I drop everything all over the floor. I'm going to a stamping retreat in a few weeks. I am so excited to craft with real people. So excited, cannot wait. The thought of it is just too much. So let's have a sentiment on here before we get too far ahead of ourselves. Let's use "You are totally awesome," because anybody that's still watching this video is totally awesome. Whoa, right. I've just put this on an ordinary block, and I'm going to attempt to line it up. So I'm going to use Bermuda Bay ink because I've used that Bermuda Bay cardstock. So, ink on there, right up in that corner. There we go, look at that. Oh, don't you love it when you stamp? And it there's one of those things that just doesn't leave me. It's that stamping and the image being really, really crisp. And that's one of the things. I'm going to put this other light on, see if that makes a difference. Oh, it does. Where you've got a really, really crisp image. It just makes me happy. I don't know what it is. Really quite sad, I suppose. So, I'm going to fold this card base over and give it a good burnish with my bone folder. And then it's just a case of layering this up. So while I'm layering this up with my Stampin' Seal, I have got a list, because if I don't have a list, I don't know what's happening. So the Waves of Inspiration suite is available from now, because it's been available for a few weeks now already, all the way through to the 3rd of May. And the stamps and dies are in the new annual catalogue. If you don't have a demonstrator that you work with already and you'd like a copy of the annual catalogue, you just need to let me know and I'll pop you onto my list. Best way to do that is to drop me an email through my blog. So it's www.stampinbyhannah.co.uk, and you will find all the information about these products, ordering catalogues, all of that sort of stuff. Card Club and everything is all over there. I'll layer that up onto that piece of foil. I'm going to grab some dimensionals again. The other thing, if you pop over to my blog, you will be asked if you would like to subscribe to my weekly emails. Do think about it. Do consider signing up. I send an email out every week-ish, usually on a Friday. The email this week will be a recap of today's live video. And the launch of something really, really special. That is, I'm very, very excited about. If you choose to shop with me during the month of April, you can join my April code club and use this code at checkout to get yourself some extra free goodies directly from me. I do send out thank you cards and little gifts and things to my customers on a regular basis. Like I said earlier, I was heading to the post office today to do my drop for last month's card club, and then my child got chicken pox and I didn't get there. So if you are waiting for your card club for March, or you're waiting for a thank you card from a spend that you've made in March, they will be coming out to you over the weekend. So that is my 2 cards for this week, using the fabulous Waves of Inspiration or Waves of the Ocean suite. I will pull in some of my other inspiration pieces. I absolutely love that card. I could just look at that card forever and ever. And that one. And that one. And like I said, this one, there is a video for over on my YouTube channel. So if you, after I finish my live, if you pop over to the channel, there will be, I think it's down here, isn't it, where there's a little, you'll see the Stampin' by Hannah written. And it's relatively recent. And that uses the Stampin' as well, actually. So thank you ever so much for joining me this week here on YouTube. If you have caught the replay, I am aiming to go live every Wednesday at 7:30 UK time. Thank you ever so much for joining me, and I really hope that you join me again soon. Bye for now.